All right. So on the Xbox showcase last night, I was with Total MK and Jay from Nerd Cage Live. We actually got to see the third fighting game that has been revealed for this particular period of exposing or bringing brand new games to light in the Summer Games Fest. We had two showcased in the Sony State of Play, which was Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, and of course the new Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls game, a 3-on-3 fight, sorry, 4-on-4 fighter. And now we've actually had this brand new one showcased based on the Invincible TV series called Invincible Versus, which is a 3-on-3 tag fighter. Now you're probably wondering why I've said that in the thumbnail it's called Mortal Kombat Killer. The reason for that is very simple. Judging from the brief amount of gameplay that we have seen, and the absolute, what appears to be, lore accurate, or at least like, portraying the game accurate to the way that it actually is in the series, it feels like that every fighting game out there seems to respect its own characters. It seems to respect its own universe, its own lore, and that's what makes it really, really cool. Now, when I first saw this, I thought, oh, okay, hang on, we're getting an arena fighter, like a Dragon Ball type fighter. But then it went into the actual gameplay, and it's actually it's just a standard like sides, 2D-esque type fighter, right? But it is actually like a 3-on-3 tag fighter as well. Now, the gameplay itself, my only sort of misgivings about it is that, and it probably would be early stages, is that it looks a little stiff, little janky. So I'm just hoping that's just sort of early access. Maybe it just plays better getting your hands on it than actually watching it. Because it's given me I'm getting a little bit of NetherRealm vibes, just a little bit from it. But you can see there, obviously it's not holding back on the blood. It's not holding back on things like battle damage onto the characters as well. Now, I know in Mortal Kombat 1, where they had Omni-Man in there, and of course the other guest characters, these characters were able to perform fatalities. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like some sort of particular finishing type move here. You can see here that as he comes in for the hit, right, his head is attached, hits the ground, and then, hang on, is that the same shot? Hang on, here we go. No, he's hit him again, and it looks like he's made his head completely fly off, right? So yeah, there's absolutely going to be finishing moves in this. If that's the case, this is the first time in decades, sort of, at least that we've had a big sort of IP actually creating an actual violent fighting game with finishing moves. Now, there have been other fighting games that have come out in recent times, like one that I reviewed on the channel called Die by the Blade, which was very much a love letter to the old Bushido Blade series back on the PlayStation 1. This one allows you to actually dismember people, cut off their heads, that sort of thing, which is very cool in a cyberpunk setting. But this game here, this is going to be big, right? I think we're up to, what, 3 seasons, I believe, of Invincible now. And correct me if I'm wrong, to be fully transparent, I've never actually watched the show. I've never got around to it. The only ways that I've seen bits and pieces of this is either from the character of Omni-Man in the game of Mortal Kombat 1, or stuff that I've seen over the years of people sharing, bits and pieces of clips and whatnot, or memes. So, but I hear nothing but good things from people. I know Jay was saying last night that it's one of his favorite shows. So, I think I'm going to have to sit down and give this an actual shot. Because I hear nothing but good things. It's got James Jonah Jameson in there as Omni-Man, which is awesome. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. Hopefully I got that right as well. I'm sure I'll get roasted in the comments if I got that wrong. But it actually looks really good, right? It's not an arena fighter. It's a standard side-on 2D2, like 2D fighter. So I am very curious about, like, how many characters are going to be in it, in there. Obviously, like you can see there's battle damage, which is great. There's blood. They're not holding back anything. It looks as if they've, from what I've seen so far, having a massive amount of respect for the characters and the lore. That stage there looks awfully like that bloody awful stage in Mortal Kombat 1. You know, the one with the portal in the background with the snow? It looks terrible. So, I guess the thing is, though, as long as it's got, like, the reason why I say MK Killer is because it feels like now we actually have a fighting game on the block doing blood, right? Doing, like, really full-on violence and, you know, absolutely going to town, you know, on the other character with what appears to be, like, finishing moves, okay? Now, I don't know if there'll be a finishing move, or it could just be part of a super that makes it appear like you're finishing them. I don't know. But it's going, now this is sort of standing, I would consider, as direct competition against Mortal Kombat. And what'll make this stand out against Mortal Kombat is the fact that it's accurate to its own universe. It feels like it's respected its own universe. Okay? Whereas this is something that the current Mortal Kombat games don't seem to have done very well. Which is why so many of us were excited when they actually showcased the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, because that is the true legacy of MK. That is what they should always be aspiring to emulate and continue forward, not trying to reinvent the wheel all the time. So there's an opportunity here, right, for this game to not only cement itself as a brand new IP fighter, but also to show that, you know, yes, we've got the violence, we've got the blood and all that sort of stuff. And this may very well be, to a degree, not completely, obviously, but to a degree, people that are fans of Mortal Kombat and do love the excess of violence, things like that, that you've now got another direct competitor in the space that is going, yep, you know, we can give you what you want, right? So while us OGs get the classic collection of MK, which is going to be fantastic, right, we also essentially get, now this is coming out in 2026, I believe, right? We also get another fighter on the block that is, you know, not afraid to do, to respect its characters. I don't know the chick's name, right? But when I first saw her, I had to take a double take because I thought she was naked. I thought she was actually half naked, right? In this shot here, like her pants are like so light colored that I'm kind of sitting there going, wait, what? And no, they didn't just put it like that. Like, I had to take a double take. I'm like, wow, those pants at the bottom are really light colored, like almost skin light colored, right? Not afraid, obviously, sexy. They're not afraid to do that as well, which is great. You know, the world is healing. So yeah, I'm very curious now because, like, as a direct competitor, you know, like, and this is their first entry into the fighting game field. I think they're going to do a fan. Look at the background. It all like collapses when they hit, you know, with their punches together. That was really cool. I'm just sort of hoping that, like, you know how in the new Marvel game, right, that there's going to be a lot sort of interactable type stuff, maybe with the backgrounds or whatever. Because this sort of game, because you are actually dealing with superheroes, that you kind of want to have that. You want to have a, you know, it feels like when they're fighting and smashing each other around, that there is actual, like, impact around them, you know, because of what they're doing. So we'll see what happens. But being a 3-on-3 fighter, I know I saw Foxy Grandpa say something on Twitter earlier about, you know, is anyone sick of all the tag fighters? But to be honest, like, you know, in some respects, and I know this sounds really crazy, but in some respects, you know, a tag fighter, well, these types of games generally are pretty fun. You know, you just jump online or play with your friends, muck around, you know. Maybe in some respects, this is the one way to get fighting games back to doing what they do best, and that's just making it fun. You know, making it really fun, over the top, awesome shit. And that's what I'm kind of seeing with this, is that this is going to be just absolutely batshit crazy. And it's obviously going to appeal to not just, you know, fighting game fans like myself, but also Mortal Kombat fans, right? That particularly like that extra violence in their fighting game. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. My only negative, like I said, is that the gameplay looks a little bit stiff. And that could just be because it's early alpha or beta or whatever. So I really hope that, like, you know, that's just the case and it actually smooths up a bit. But we'll see. I don't know. I mean, it also could be It also could be one of those things that maybe perhaps that's how it is in the game, in the TV show. It has that kind of animation style. So when you're actually fighting, they're actually mimicking how it was, or how it is, sorry, in the TV series. I don't know. It's just what I'm noticing visually, based off my limited experience with the TV series. But as a fighting game, is what it's offering, as long as it's got a nice big roster, stays true to the series lore, character accurate, that sort of stuff, then I think this is going to be a bit of a winner. Will it kill Mortal Kombat? Obviously not, because MK is such a massive IP. But it might kill it in the sense of, look how we respect our world. Why can't Mortal Kombat do the same? Anyway, guys, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think. Catch you next time.